All right, live from the Rasta Room. It's Friday night, and we are back. Hopefully this is working correctly. I think I've already adjusted the audio so I don't sound like a chipmunk, and everything should be good. I'm not seeing nobody yet. Oh, it says 2 watching right now, and it looks like I'm up on YouTube. Looks like it's working. Sorry for the delay at the beginning there. I had to get the rust off, if you know what I mean. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. I've been very busy, and I've been had a few people tell me like, what's up with the Friday Night Lives and what's going on, where have you been? Look, there we go. Leanne Spells is here, and she says, Matt, where have you been? I've just been super busy, and I wanted to take a break from the Friday Night Live. I also got a new day job, and I don't get off till 5 o'clock. I would normally start this at 5 o'clock, and so I moved it to 6 and decided to start doing it again because a lot of people bug me about, you know, where have you been? I want to, you know, join you on the live streams again. What's going on? Are you doing them? And so I had enough people that really liked them that I thought I'd bring them back. So it's season 2 of Friday Night Live from the Rasta Room. We're going to do an hour, so from 6 to 7. It's 6:03 right now, and we'll go until about 7 o'clock, and we'll just talk some trash and hang out and catch up. Tonight I'm drinking a drink as usual, a little fruity. I've got Tropic Isle Palms rum. This is made in Puerto Rico, Caribbean rum. Jeanette Pickering says, hey, Matt, good to have you back. Hey, it's good to see you, and thanks for joining. And I was just letting everybody know what I'm drinking. I always like to fill you in on what I'm having because it's always something different. I mix it up every week. So I got the Caribbean rum, and I am mixing it with this V8 Splash tropical blend. Yeah, it's mostly artificial, I think, but it tastes fruity. Goes good with the rum. We're having us a Friday night drink because it's the weekend. So my new job, I am still working Monday to Friday, day shift, which is great. And I get the weekends off, but I've just been really super busy that I haven't posted too much on YouTube. I've just kind of taken a break from the videos for a little bit, at least for the YouTube videos. Jeanette says, on the strong stuff. And Pixie says, hey, mate, nice to see you. Where you been? And give us a drink. LOL. If I could, I would. I'd pass them around to everybody. I hope you guys are all enjoying your Friday evenings and nights and wherever you're at. I know you guys are, Pixie and Jeanette, I know they're across the pond, and it's later over there. It's like a little after 11, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's only 6 o'clock here. I haven't even eaten dinner yet, or what you guys say, had tea. For those of you guys don't know, because that was like a surprise to me, and maybe a lot of Americans don't know this, but when somebody from the UK says having tea, it doesn't always mean drinking iced tea or tea. I say iced tea, but they don't even have it iced. They have warm tea, don't they? I don't know. The only time I drink tea is if it's iced, and usually sweet iced tea, southern iced tea. And Pixie at work in the morning. He's gonna drink tonight and work in the morning. I hope not. But this is delicious. But yeah, so having tea could also mean eating dinner, is what we call it here. Our supper. I haven't eaten yet, so I can't drink too much or it'll really hit me because I have an empty stomach. But my wife made a huge pot of chili, and it was so good, and she purposely made plenty to last us. And so I'm going to heat that up from last night, heat up some more chili after I'm done with live stream. There's the wifey. Do you need a drink? I will in just a little bit. You want to check on me in just a minute? Yes, I will. She's the greatest. She'll make me a new drink. Nope, he's as sober as a judge. What is that? Hey, can you hear the radio no drink for me tonight. Is it too loud? No, it's not too loud. You guys are good. Okay. She's got music playing in there. There's a bunch of the family over right now. Her sister and the kids are here. All the girls are here, and her sister's daughter's playing with our girl. So Laz says, hey, wifey, please, yes, please, vodka, please. My wife loves the vodka, so we always have vodka, and I drink rum. Hey, wifey, Laz says, "Hi, wifey," and he put a funny face.
Hi. Oh, there's Jasmine.
Yep.
Right where Mom is all the time.
Yep, Mom Junior right there.
Twinsies. Did you just push me?
But yeah, she drinks the vodka. She usually gets some flavored stuff. Not always. Sometimes she just gets some good vodka. But she likes the flavored stuff, and she mixes it with fruity stuff like I do most of the time. But she loves her vodka. And she'll drink my rum if she runs out. Let me do this. We've got a few viewers now, and we're getting into things. I'm going to go ahead and post the link to join into the video with me into the chat box over here. And if anybody, and I mean anybody, wants to join in, you're all welcome to. And we can talk some trash, hang out, catch up. I've missed you guys. I've missed doing this. It's a lot of fun for me. I've just had so much going on that I really felt like I really feel like when I do, not just live streaming the YouTube videos in general, I feel like it's more of a hobby of mine than a job. Even if I do make a few bucks here and there. Matter of fact, I had an issue I just now realized where some of my videos have been demonetized because of YouTube stuff, and I hadn't really had that problem. None of that hit me yet, and just now it did. But anyway, so I feel like if I'm really busy and I'm doing a lot, that if I put away some time to do YouTube, then I'm cutting myself short on other things. Oh, there's Pixie. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, my man?
Hey, doing all right. How are you?
Oh, absolutely shattered, mate. Really long day at work, but hey ho. Yeah, don't worry. Sorry if I'm a bit low. My chair's broke.
My bar stools are starting to fall apart. My bar stools that I have in here are starting to fall apart. And I've been able to hang on to 2 or 3 of them. I had, I think, 5 or 6 in the beginning. And so about half of them are done for. I've tried to fix them numerous times. And so far, they're slowly.
Are you getting any more?
I'm sorry?
Are you getting any more replaced?
I probably will have to, and I don't want to because we paid $60, 60 US a piece each bar stool. And so they were really expensive, and they're really nice. And I know you really can't see them. I got one here next to me. It's upside down because I don't want anybody to sit on it because it's broke. But here's our bar stools, and they're pretty nice bar stools. They spin and all that. And we paid $60 a piece, which is kind of a lot, but we wanted nice ones. And slowly, it's like the bolts that hold them. They come disassembled. You have to assemble them yourself. But I did it all myself, and they all have locking washers, the split washers. And so they should hold on tight, and they don't. The screws start coming loose, and I keep tightening them up, and the things that get kind of loose, and then eventually the inserts that hold the screws that go into the wood itself start coming out, and it's pulling wood out with it, so you can't put it back in. It won't hold back in. It's destroyed the wood part. Long story short, they're gonna have to be replaced, but I don't want to because they cost so much.
Isn't there any way that you can sort of like replace the bits of wood that's been broke by the bolt?
I've thought about it, and it would just be so difficult that it's almost not worth my time. Just because there's about 8 holes that hold a bolt or screw on each chair that are getting loose. There's more than that, but there's at least 8 of them that I know are getting loose all the time. And so to get new inserts or whatever, and I've thought about it because I actually work at a nut and bolt company now. That's my new job. Is I work for a place that distributes bolts and nuts and hardware. So I probably could get the stuff I needed pretty easily, but it's just going to be a lot of work for each chair. I don't know. I don't want to I almost want to salvage them and reuse them for something else somehow, and I may do that.
Yeah, why not, mate? Oh, guess what? I've purchased. Well, I will be purchasing a drone on Tuesday this week. I won it on eBay. It was when was it? Monday or Tuesday this week, and I messaged the guy, says if I win this drone, can I pay you like a week today? Like, and he said, yeah, no problem. It's a standard 3 Phantom.
Nice, very exciting, man. I'm really excited for you.
Oh, when I saw, because I put my limited bid as 300, and when I saw it creeping up there, I thought, these last few minutes are just going to go crazy on it. But no, luckily it stayed at 300. But the only problem with it being is it hasn't got the charger lead for the battery because it's somehow misplaced it, he says. But I was talking, do you know Eagle VP?
Yes, Keith.
Yeah, Keith. He said that if you got a Samsung charger, that'd charge it up for you.
Huh.
Do you reckon that'd work?
What was it?
Standard 3 Phantom.
If you have what kind of charger, he said?
Samsung.
Well, a Samsung charger. I don't know. Mine charged with a really weird charger. It's really specific to this battery. Unless you're talking about the one to the remote. Are you talking about the one to the remote?
No, he said for the battery. I'm sure it was for the battery.
Yeah, I'll show you exactly what it looks like and what you're going to be getting because I have the 3 standard here. I want to acknowledge real quick that we got Vinny G here now, and he says, "Holy shit, I finally made it to a live stream." Hey, it's good to see you, Vinny, buddy. And Jeanette said hi to him, and then Laz says, "Little drop of Gorilla Glue will help keep them tight." On with the chairs. I tried that, Laz. I actually used some 2-part epoxy. It wasn't made by Gorilla Glue, but it's stuff I've used before that's really strong, and it's breaking the wood out. Even it's crap, I think. And Vinny G says, "What are we talking about?" But he's probably figured it out by now. I wish I have to find it, but I can show you exactly. And I don't want to get out in front of the camera because I'll have to go behind the camera to get everything right now. But we'll definitely chat. But I may have something that I can send you or something that you can use. But the batteries themselves take a really weird charger that fits nothing else. It's made for those batteries and those batteries only. It's kind of wide. It's got these weird prongs that are spaced strangely, and it goes into the side of the battery. The remote will take a Samsung charger. The remote will take like a USB mini that goes to like a Samsung cell phone. Remote, it'll charge like that, but the batteries take something specific. I lost mine too, and I don't. It's funny he says he misplaced it because it's a cord to a big box and then another cord that goes to your lead, and it's a pretty hefty charger to lose. And so I was blown away that mine came up missing, and I still swear that somebody's stolen it or thought it went to something else and grabbed it and never returned it. Because it can't be used. I don't know anybody else with a Phantom 3 standard. My little brother's got one, but he's got his own. I've actually used his charger when mine first went missing. So I ordered one online for pretty cheap that will charge 2 batteries at once, and it also has a lead to charge remote if you have like the Advanced or Pro. But like I said, the standard, the remote charges with a cell phone mini USB type charger.
Right, I'm just having a look on the trying to find it on my eBay account on what I need to get for the charger. I'm sure it said for the battery, but I'll just double check if it'll let me go in the description because sometimes it closes it all off, doesn't it? Let's have a look. No, it's not that one.
So Vinny is saying, "Can I have a look at your chair if possible?" And it looks like he's joined in, but I don't see him. I only see his emblem or whatever, but I'd love to show him my chairs. Get some ideas. Maybe he has a better idea than what I have. I used to repair furniture, solid oak furniture at a place called Oak Express. It was a job I had many years ago, and I did really well at it, and they went out of business. But so I kind of have an idea of what I'm doing. I'm not just a rookie here, but I definitely am not a pro either. But basically, you've got these screws, and I can't really, it's going to be too difficult to show you on this camera, but you've got these screws that go in right there that hold each leg, and then there's another one up here. And then you've got, okay. So that's pretty much really the ones that I'm worried about that get loose. I was thinking there were some more, but really those I've gotten to get tight. But anyway, so these that go into here, this piece here has a hole in it, and it's got a metal insert that goes in there that has the female threads so that the bolt can bolt into it. Well, that insert, those inserts on many of the chairs are getting loose and pulling out of the wood and shredding the wood as it comes out because the wood is not really solid. It's some particle crap is what it is. So even though they were expensive chairs, the wood's not that great. And so I feel like, and I've already put glue in there and put the inserts back in with 2-part epoxy around them and things like that. The biggest problem with continuing to fix them is that I've done so much gluing and re-screwing that I don't, that it would be, I'd have to do too much work undoing what I've already done. And look at that. He's holding there. Vinny G is holding the charger you're going to have. That's it right there.
Is that the thing? I've got the description up. It says the drone comes with propellers, 4 used and 4 brand new, and a small bag. Remote control. It says micro USB charger not included, as this was misplaced. And then it says battery and charger. It says main plug for the battery is not supplied, as I've misplaced this, unfortunately. And an 8 GB SD card. Spare attachment for the gimbal as well. So
you still got a great deal, because them chargers you can get online for pretty cheap.
Oh right. So it's not too expensive.
I'll send you one that has my batteries, and I'm not my Phantom 3 standard. My camera and gimbal's messed up, and until I decide if I even want to replace it, the price of it, I could have done what you did. It's over $200, so you pay
£300. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look, here's Rhea, by the way. Rhea wants to say hi.
Hello.
A lot of what I've been doing in all this time I've been gone from YouTube is working on her channel. Maria's had her own channel for a while, but she hasn't done a lot on it. But she's had her own GoPro. But now she's got, this year for her birthday, we got her a laptop. So now she's editing her own videos and doing a lot more. And so I've been helping her with editing, and she's trying to upload. She's pretty much on her own now. The last one, I really didn't do anything whatsoever. She edited it all by herself and uploaded it to YouTube by herself, which actually, is it on YouTube? Did it end up uploading, or did it fail in processing or something? You don't know?
Huh?
Your last video.
Yeah, it didn't process at all, so I have to rewrite the description.
Need to re-upload it.
And it already stopped. I didn't take it off that page, but on my laptop it just said that it wasn't working.
So her channel is Rhea's Big Dream, just like Matt's Big Dream, but R-I-A-S, Rhea's. If anybody has kids, especially, she does a lot of stuff that the kids would love, toys and unboxing and things like that. So
cool. I think I'm already subscribed to her channel, actually.
Awesome. That is great. I'm gonna type it in the chat box, so if anybody wants to see exactly what.
So I've just got 2 things to get for that. USB micro charger for the remote control. So that'll take a Samsung charger, then, will it?
For the remote?
Yeah.
Yeah, the remote will take. Yeah, I've charged mine with my Samsung charger.
And the mains plug for the charger is not supplied for the battery. And that was the one that Vinny was holding up.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
That's a special one.
Right. I'll have a look on eBay for that. There should be some cheapo jobbies on there, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, while I've got you, because I'm off the bed shortly.
Okay.
I've just interviewed Cab 7. I don't know if you know Cab 7.
No, I don't.
No, he's a top chap. He's got about 2K subscribers. He's really good. Funny live streams, funny videos, awesome. I've just interviewed him. I was wondering if you two guys, this is for Vince and you as well, do you fancy me interviewing you sometime this week?
Yeah,
Dressed or naked?
Yeah, if we can fit it around my schedule, that's fine with me. I just work later now, and so I know it's really late there, but I don't get off till 5 o'clock here, which is 10 p.m. for you guys. So
right. So would it be better at the weekend then?
Probably, if you wanted me to do it earlier. I know this weekend I'm really busy. We're spending the whole day tomorrow out of town. So
right. Okay. So I'll tell you what. If you want to go on my About page and get my email address, and then email me whenever you're ready. You can sort some free time out, and if I've got spare time as well at the same time, then we can sort something out. And the same goes for Vinny, but it might be a bit even more tricky for Vinny because he's in the future.
He's in the future, yeah. For those of you guys who don't know, Vinny G is in Australia, which is awesome. I think it's a cool place that I have on my bucket list to come visit someday.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Just knock on Vinny G's door and say you've got a spare bed.
There's just talking about the battery chargers. I've noticed now you can get dual battery chargers, and even quad battery chargers. So before you buy a single battery charger, if you're going to have the DJI Phantom 3 standard, you might want to look at buying one of those units, because it doesn't matter from this point on. I mean, it's only going to increase. If you go to resell that drone and you've got a better battery charger and a spare battery, you're going to get your money, maybe not back, but you'll get more than what you paid for it.
Yeah.
And they're very convenient. I mean, once you start really getting into flying, you're gonna have at least 2-3 batteries, probably sometimes more. And when you go to charge them, it is a pain in the butt to take them off the charge, and you know what I mean, to keep having to alternate which one's charging and keep track with that. When even if it takes just as long to charge 2 that it would with one charger or whatever, having one that plugs in 2 or 3 batteries. Save you having to worry about it. You just put them on, and then when you're done, they're both done. You know what I mean? I know I've loved having one with. I only had 2. It only charged 2 at a time. I had 4 batteries, but still that helps a lot.
Oh, I bet it did. I bet it did.
Yeah.
Is it true it does about half an hour's flight time for one battery?
You say half hour?
Yeah.
No way. I think when I got mine, it said 20 minutes, 21 or 22 minutes maybe, but you don't get that. Honestly, after flying for a while and the more you use it, it's going to go down. But on top of that, you got to realize that when it gets to like 30%, it's set up default at least. I think you can change it, but it's set up default to start alarming you that you need to start landing this thing soon because it's getting low. And I usually do heed that. I don't want to risk having something happen. I think it would land itself. They're supposed to land themselves before it runs out anyway.
Right.
And I think you could pretty much rely on that with DJI, but you never know. I don't want to risk it just for fun. So I usually just land it, especially if I got extra batteries. And so with doing that, I end up getting maybe 14, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
It's still not bad.
I base my flight time on probably between 10 and 15 minutes, but that is a lot of footage if you do it wisely. That 10 or 15 minutes of footage is a hell of a lot of footage. So you'd probably get 20 minutes flight time out of it if you took it off and stayed at, say, 2 meters in altitude and just let it hover there. You might, because it's no thrusting forwards and backwards and that. But yeah, I base myself between 10 and 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. It's just what I've seen on internet and everything that people saying, yeah, you can get half an hour out of them, but yeah, about 10, 15 minutes, that'll be about right, because the one I've got now is only a little cheap drone that I got off their eBay for about $30, and that's got about 5 to 6 minutes battery life if you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's one of these like Cymax drones, the little speedy ones.
You can get half an hour out of it. I mean, all you do is just start it up and let it sit on your table and just watch it sitting on your table running.
And actually, I've actually heard that when you're flying, if you just sit there a lot, like especially when you're first learning to fly it, like you just hover it, just leave it hovering, and you figure out your controls, what you're going to do next. The more you do that, the more battery life you use up. It actually uses a lot of battery trying to stay in place. When you're moving around and things, you actually, and I know it kind of seems the opposite. I know it did to me at first, like that doesn't make sense. But once you really think about it, it takes a lot to make it not go nowhere. It's really got to, it's using a lot of its energy. And so if you're doing things a lot, especially when you get more comfortable, you'll get more life just doing that.
All right, cool.
And then
you've
got your weather conditions as well. If you're flying into the wind or with the wind. If you're flying with the wind, it'll take you no time. But you got to remember one thing: when you're moving away from yourself, you have to come home.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's really the only real problem I've had where I've almost got myself into a sticky situation with my drone. I mean, at least with the DJI stuff, they're really reliable stuff. But if you if you're flying in some wind that you even if you can handle it, but it's still breezy, but your drone's moving around fine, you got to think about bringing it home. And I didn't one time, and it was so easy to fly far away from me with the wind quickly, like it was just gone. I was like, oh wow, look at this thing float, and it was like fun. And then when I went to bring it back, it was like it was fighting the wind so bad that it was moving very slowly, and I had flown it over a big cornfield, and the whole time I'm thinking this thing is going to die, and I am going to have to hope it lands itself and it doesn't break hitting corn and things. So there's big tall corn stalks, and I'm going to have to climb in this field and go out there and find my freaking drone in the middle of this cornfield because I didn't have the battery power. But luckily it made it back just in time before the battery died. I was able to land it with like a few percent left on the battery. But I was new and I did it, and I wasn't thinking about fighting wind and how much time it would take to fight that wind to get back to where you needed it to be to land safely.
I think if you oh, sorry.
I did a video. Sorry, Pixie. I did a video about 3-4 videos ago, and it's called "Inspiring a Younger Generation," and it's me flying the drone over a project that I'm currently sort of doing, and I forgot about the land posts, the light poles, and I was so close, and I could not judge it because it was in the distance and the sun glare and all that crap, and yeah, it was really, really close.
Yeah, if you want to refill me.
You have all your stuff over there ready to go. You don't even need me.
I'll show him what's drinking. But I wanted to acknowledge we got Fishy Comics here, and he's talking to Janet and stuff, or Jeanette. I'm sorry, it's Jeanette, right?
Sorry, mate. What was that? Jeanette we're talking to.
Am I saying her name right? Is it Jeanette?
Yeah, it's Jeanette.
Okay.
Oh, it's all gone dark.
Right. But Wesley Patton comment here is my father, and I don't know that I've ever seen him on a live stream with me. My father is very savvy, tech savvy, but he rarely gets on the live stream. So it's good to see you, Papa. And if you want, Papa, am I freezing up, guys? It looks to me like I'm freezing up.
It did go black, but it's screens back now.
Huh. It's still frozen for me, and I can't even click my buttons. I don't know what.
We can see you moving.
Okay, there it goes.
Anyway, sorry, mate. On that note, I'm gonna get off, mate, because it's a bit late now. It's 11:30. So, and I need my beauty sleep.
Well, I appreciate you joining in with us so late. I know it's if you're working hard and it's this late, you're probably exhausted. So good to see you, and thanks for the support.
Yeah, and will you doing any more live streams on a Friday night then? Are you back to normal, or is this just a one-off?
I think I'm going to be back to doing them. I'm going to try to keep up on them. Definitely. It's fun, and I missed it. So. Yeah.
Good to see you anyway, mate, and I shall see you on the next one, and I'll see you whenever, Vinny. I'm sure you'll be around somewhere knocking about.
Yeah, and I'll email you. Hopefully we can plan something maybe for next weekend for me to do that. As long as I have enough advance that I won't plan nothing else on top of it, I'll be good. So.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. That's awesome.
All right.
All right, then, guys. I'll see you later.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Peace.
See ya.
But yeah, for those of you in the chat that just seen, I posted a link that's to come into the live stream. So, Papa, if you want to join me, click that. I know you can do it from your phone. So if you're on your phone right now, click that link and come and join us.
Make sure you give Dakota her shout-outs on this live stream.
Dakota?
Yes, because we're very proud of her.
Yeah, so Dakota is my 18-year-old, soon to be 19, you're going to be 19 at the beginning of the year, daughter, my oldest daughter. And she texted me today while I was at work to let me know that she finally passed her driving test. She have her driver's license. So anybody in my area on the roads, be extra careful because she's out there. So I'm very proud of her, and she probably should have passed it the first time. Here, it's an automatic fail if you hit a curb. You know, the curbs of the road.
You
have to. Nah, sure. What is this?
You said nah, sure. Blackberry 99 cherries.
Blackberry 99 cherry. So this is 99 proof black cherry flavored liquor
You can only have one
in
of
a
those.
baby jar. Is what it looks like, baby food.
It's not. It's a mason
But
jar.
anyway, so they make her parallel park, and during the parallel parking, she went in a little too far, and her back tire hit the curb, and automatic fail, even though she had done everything else perfectly. And she even asked, she didn't know she automatically failed at first. She hit the curb, and she goes, "Ooh, can I try it again?" And the lady says, "Yeah, go ahead, try it again." So she pulls out and does it perfectly the second time. The lady's like, "You did great." But when they get back to the office, these tells her, "Sorry,
She shouldn't
but
let her do it again. She should have said, "Yeah, you can do it again, but it don't matter."
yeah, it's a waste of your time because you failed."
Exactly.
But she
Set her up.
retook it today and she passed her driving test. So we're happy because we have been taking her and picking her up from work every day.
I'm free.
And I'm sure her friends are happy because her friends have been giving her rides.
Her sister's a
She's
She can't just run out. Like, she ain't free yet whatsoever.
No, she ain't free.
But she
But
needs to
she's
practice.
still our baby.
She still needs to practice a little bit by herself.
But
She's used to
I am
having
proud of
someone.
her, and it is kind of late. I don't know when you guys get your license over there, Vinny, but here, I know at least when I was young, I think it may have changed the rules a little bit, but at 15 and a half years old, you can get a permit to start learning, and then at 16, you get a license. And that's what I did. And like the day I was 15 and a half, I was getting that permit. And I know my dad will remember that, taking me to do that. But so she's almost 19 and just now getting around to it. So.
Yeah, we got 16 years old, you get your permit, and then you need a minimum of 120 hours in the seat. Then they go for their license when they turn 18, and for the first 2 years of driving, they're not allowed to have any more than one passenger in the car, and that's got to be and if they do have more than one passenger in the car, only siblings allowed, no friends or anything like that, and it's to teach responsibility and things like that. Yeah, it's pretty strict down here.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's pretty much the exact same thing here. I think it's 16 to get your permit, and you have to put in so many hours. My wife, I don't remember how many hours it is. It might be the same exact, but she kept the log, so I don't remember what we had to get to. I know she went over the hours she needed. She needed more than what they suggested, if you take driver's ed class in school, you don't have to do all that. They do it all for you, and completing that class in school is the same thing as. But I also want to acknowledge though. So I couldn't make sense of what was happening over here, but Wesley Patton, who I told you was my dad, is commenting, and it said, "I am Wes, LOL, brother." And I'm like, what the heck is he talking about? That's my little brother. My little brother is Wesley Jr. And I don't know why he usually puts Jr. on everything, so but it says Wesley Patton, so I thought it was my dad. So apparently that's my little brother. And then he says, "This is little Wes." And then he said, "Screw it, you're grounded." So he's grounding me like he is my dad. And Deanna Ferencamp said, "That's little Wes." She's trying to tell me that's my mom. So we got a family affair happening in the chat box. It's good to see my family there because I know my mom watches a lot, but she doesn't chat. I think she had a problem figuring out how to get to the chat box because she watches from mobile and things. But looks like she's figured it out. My mom's in the chat box. So everybody say hi to Deanna because that's my mama.
Hey, Deanna.
Here's my shot. I feel weird drinking in front of them now.
I'd join you in the drink, but it's only 9:35 a.m. Saturday morning here.
I was going to ask you. I knew it was early. 9:30 in the morning. That's so weird. And it's the 14th.
Yep.
And it's Saturday. It's still.
Yep. You're still on Halloween.
Halloween?
Not Halloween. Sorry, Friday the 13th.
I was gonna say, I wondered if you had Halloween on Friday the 13th there or something. I was like, whoa, no. That's neat.
Nah.
Because it don't always happen. Like, you guys not always go to Halloween because it doesn't always land on Friday the 13th.
So, how's the new job?
Not bad, man. It's hard work, but I enjoy it because I've got a lot of good guys I work with. My old job, it was real easy and laid back, but I didn't see anybody. I mean, I seen store employees that I would go and visit at the, places, but I didn't have coworkers. My boss was out of Chicago. The guy that trained me lives in town, but works at other stores that I don't go to, so I'd never seen him. It was lonely. I spent a lot of time in my truck and driving and listening to podcasts and music and things to keep myself occupied. Now I'm working with a bunch of fun guys, really cool place, and my brother got me the job, so he works there. Although I'm still training in the warehouse and I'm doing a lot of warehouse work, and he's a driver, which is what apparently I'll be doing eventually. But he's gone a lot, so he's not in the shop a lot. But I do get to work with my brother, my older brother, Chris, and it's been a lot of fun.
You'd save, you'd be saving a lot of money, wouldn't you?
Looks like Sai is here. Echo. We hear ourselves.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we can also hear ourselves.
Okay, I don't know what to do there. So I'm coming through. Hang on a second. I'm using my mobile for the first time, so let me sort that out.
Okay.
You've got to turn the volume off in the main YouTube page.
Okay.
And just rely on the Hangouts volume.
Okay, hang on a second.
Yeah, you'd be
There's
saving
funny,
a lot of money.
I'm sorry, there's funny stuff happening over here in the chat box. So my mom says hello all, and then my little brother says hi mom, and he says I don't think he sees us. I see you guys, I just can't always comment, and I'm trying to watch both. But she says hi my baby boy, not my ex, LOL, meaning not my dad. Oh, man.
I've just muted Sai, so he'll figure it out once he gets back on.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you'd be saving a lot of money without running around in your truck, wouldn't you?
Yeah, this new job, even when I'm driving, I'll be using a company van. And they paid me for mileage at my last job. So they paid me, and it was actually more than what gas cost. So I got a little extra, but not enough. I've never done a job like this, and I realized quickly, especially that I have a brand new truck, that I'm putting a ton of miles on it, and what they're paying me is not going to pay for whatever goes wrong when,
Yeah, and the wear and tear, that's right. I mean, you get a puncture. If you get a puncture, that's money, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know how it is there either, but tires here, I've noticed since I was young, they've gone way up. They're so expensive to get a tire now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's about a cheap, shitty tire made in China. You might pay $80, $90 for it, but then if you want the good tires, you're up around the 200.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, if your tires just got worn out to where you needed a new set of 4 new tires, you better save up for a while because it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
I know for me, I think even the cheapest I could possibly get at the very cheapest new, but off-brand cheap tire I'd probably pay $800 US for a set.
Yeah.
For my truck though, but my truck's pretty big. The car would cost a little less. I think for the car it would be about $125 per tire for the car. But I'm talking about some cheap stuff. I mean, I've done it once with the car. I have a 2005 Chevy Malibu, and I got all brand new tires that really needed it, and they're already bad again. I mean, they were so cheap that they didn't last me. They didn't last me more than a couple of years before they were getting bad again.
Wow, you got a couple of years. If we buy the real cheap and nasty tires, you'd be lucky to get 12 months out of them.
Wow.
So it's not really worth it. You're probably better off buying something a little bit better.
Well, see, we have used tire places around here all over, especially in the inner city. And you can get a used tire for $40 to $50 for the tire, and you might get 12 months out of that. And that's what I'm used to doing. I grew up really close to one of those places, and I got to know the people. Matter of fact, they're probably missing me because I haven't seen them in years now. but I used to go in there all the time. I knew the people that worked there, and if I got a puncture, they could plug it if they could, or they'd find me a used one that's just as good as the one I had for $50. And I kept myself rolling on a used tire shop until I finally started becoming an adult and realizing that if I just tighten the belt a little bit and paid for the good stuff, you'd last a lot longer. But
I found what we have here in Australia is Japan have a rule, not a rule, but what they do is they have an incentive for car drivers in Japan, and that is after 12 months, they'll give them a cheap set of really good tyres. But what that does is they come to the shop, they change their tyres, get brand new tyres, and those tyres that they were pulled off their cars, a lot of them end up down here in Australia and get sold as second-hand tyres with only 12 months wear on them. And because Japan isn't really a big place such as Australia, there's not much wear on them. So, and that's how Japan don't have a big tyre problem in their yards, because here now, when you change tyres, they charge you $7 a tyre for disposal fee.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
yeah, I'd never really thought of that till you just said that. Back when I was going to that used tire place, I lived in the inner city. I didn't go a lot of places. As a matter of fact, there was a period of my life that I lived downtown Indianapolis, which is a pretty big city, and I lived downtown, like really downtown, like 4, maybe 5 blocks from, the skyscrapers, and I got a bicycle, and I worked downtown and I lived downtown, so I only needed the bicycle. My daughter lived real close to me, and if I couldn't get somebody to drop her off, I would go walk or ride a bike over and get her, and I didn't need anything more than a bicycle. So when you live in the inner city, I guess it makes more sense when places are so condensed like Japan.
Yeah,
you're not going to go that many miles. You're not really going to need. But now that I live out here, I'm out here in the cornfields and things outside of the city. Everywhere I go, I can get to pretty quick because I can go fast on these country roads, but I'm putting a lot more miles than a few blocks in the inner city.
Yeah,
I never really thought about it too much.
And it's actually amazing. You might drive around for your job, and it's not until you see you'll be in the thousands, you'll be in the 3-digit mark on your odometer, and when you see it get to 10,000 Ks, and then it's not far between getting 20,000 Ks, that they do rack up really quick, the kilometers, and you just don't realize how quick they rack up.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you right now, I bought my truck brand new with 0 miles on it. I know it's a little different than kilometers, but it's not a whole.
It's the same. It's the same. Yeah, I understand it.
Yeah, and but I know you definitely know but there's a lot of viewers that may not, and I've got my family over here cracking me up in the chat box. I'm gonna acknowledge them in just a minute. But I'll tell you, my truck is a 2015 Chevy Silverado, and I bought it in 2015. And right in the summertime, so it's just a little over 2 years old, and I bought it with 0 miles. But because of this last job, it now has almost 70,000 miles on it.
Yeah, 35,000 Ks.
So yeah, it's already a well worn in used vehicle, and I'm still. I signed a contract to, I'm buying it. It's not leasing. I'm owning the vehicle, but I signed a contract to pay on it for 7 years to try to keep my payments low, or as low as I can, to afford a brand, because I've never had a brand new vehicle until I bought this truck, and I still am very proud of having a brand new vehicle. It's still weird to me to have a brand new vehicle. I didn't grow up we had used everything. So I grew up kind of poor, and so for me to have a brand new truck now, I'm very proud of it. But because I don't know what I'm doing, I've turned it into a used vehicle very quickly, and I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day when we'd never had new vehicles either as growing up. So what we used to do, to try and keep the value up on the vehicle is unplug the cable from the gearbox to the speedo and plug the gearbox back up so the oil wouldn't leak out. But you know, it was amazing because from when you're young, say like your daughter's just got a license, you know, you watch how quickly she puts kilometers or miles on her car. You know, it's crazy shit. And the thing is that people don't realize the service of the vehicle. You know, that once the car does its kilometers, it needs a service, irrespective. I have destroyed cars from not servicing them. You know, it's one of those things. But to have a job like you had previously, see, I believe they should pay you more because you're using your vehicle.
Well, a lot of people believe it. You know, you'd be surprised. The government has a lot of the federal government of the United States has a lot of employees that travel for their job, and there is a federal mandate of an amount of how much you should get paid per mile to compensate you for gas and for wear and tear on your vehicle. And it is about, I think right now it's about 58 cents a mile, maybe 53, between 53 and 58, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. My job paid me 29 cents. So they were half of what, you know, almost half of what the federal, what most jobs would pay you to use your vehicle. Most jobs, most companies will use what the federal government says is because the federal government knows what gas is doing. They change it every year, and they say, okay, because that's really what the X factor is. The car isn't really too much of an X factor. You kind of know how many years you're going to get out of a normal vehicle, an average vehicle. But you know, in 2008, the gas prices were way different than they were in 2015. Matter of fact, I remember 2008. I paid $4 a gallon, where now I can typically get it for half of what I got it then. You know, it's gone down half, and so they fluctuate that amount based on that, but they always compensate for gas and for wear and tear. Like I said, the job I had before paid me 29 cents a mile, but that paid for my gas and a little bit extra, but is not nearly what the government typically says you should get compensated. You know what I mean?
So what are you paying? What are you paying now a gallon?
Right now, I think it's in between. I know just a few days ago it was only $2.07 American for a gallon, but I think just in the matter of a week it's gone back up, and it's back at $2.30 to $2.40, $2.45 maybe. Something like that.
A gallon.
A gallon, yeah.
That's cheap.
To us, that's expensive. When I first got my license, it was right around $1. But I remember a time after I got my license. I mean, I'm talking the year 2000, maybe 1998 to 2000. It dipped for a minute, and we got about 75 cents for about 3 to 4 months. We got 75 cents a gallon. And I know it makes me feel old because I'm still pretty young. I'm only 35 years old. But I remember a time, and I always hear old people say this, I remember a time when gas was only 75 cents a gallon.
Yeah. I remember
where it wasn't a big deal to take a $5 bill and go, you know, like you were talking about my daughter getting her license and driving a lot. I did that. I had a 1977 Chevy Nova that was a classic when I got it. You know, like I said, this is 1998, around 1998 when I got my license. You know, this is 77. It's almost getting antique plates on it. We had it sitting in our backyard forever. My dad helped me rebuild it. My brother had already put a new engine in it, but me and my dad put a new transmission in it, and I got me a hot rod, what I consider a hot rod, what I consider a classic car. But it was so much maintenance that I only drove it for a couple years, and I traded it in for something newer. With them old cars, it was so much easier to fix. I appreciate that now, and I wish I had kept it. But at the time, when you're 17 years old, you're like, I don't want to fix this every day. I want a car that runs every day. and
Can
a
I,
newer car will do that. But man, I miss. I
can I
could
just
stand. I can tell you what. I could open up the hood in that car and stand on the ground inside the hood because there was so much room. Where if you
Yeah.
open a brand new car now, there's nothing but computers, and there's it was just simpler. It was simple. It was simple to fix it. Even I, at 17 years old, could figure out how to fix my car most of the time. But what happened is the electrical went out on it, and the electrical was beyond me. Even my dad, was like, I don't know. I ended up trading it. It became a race car. I ended up trading it to a local mechanic that all my family will know. By the way, all my family's in the chat box, and I'm so sorry I haven't acknowledged you much, but we're having a great conversation. But I traded it to become a race car, and mostly because my dad had tax problems and had a lien on it, and we didn't have the title anymore. And so this guy could use it for a race car without the title because he wasn't driving it on the road. And he gave me I traded a 1977 Chevy Nova for a 1989 Cutlass Sierra. So it was a Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. It was a little bitty car, a little square car, but that thing ran. You know what I mean? You didn't have to constantly worry about a carburetor. You had a fuel injection. I moved into the future. I feel so old even saying that. Like, my kids will have no idea what a carburetor is.
Yeah.
They just don't exist anymore.
Can I just share a screen with you?
Yeah, please.
Okay, this is a car I have that got started for the first time in nearly 50 years during the week. Okay. I don't know where the sound is, but
Wow. I don't know what the sound is either, but I can see broke down in the 70s and rebuilt in the 80s.
Yeah.
You're talking real old.
We procured the parts we running, and that was first firing just then, but I don't know where the sound's gone. I'm a bit upset about that.
Oh, did you mute it?
Yeah.
Did you mute it for this video?
Oh, I might have actually. I think that should matter. No, I didn't actually.
Well, is that like, it almost looks like to me like a 19, let me take a guess, and I'm not very good because, like I said, I was born in 81, for those of you who don't know. That looks to me like a 1930s, maybe 40s, but probably 1930s. And it looks like it almost looks like a model, like a Ford. It's got to be a Ford. Is it a Ford?
Chevy.
Chevy, really? Wow, I've never seen one that looked like that. But like I said, I'm young. I don't know. I only have Google images.
Yeah, it was a good car actually. Well, it was. It is a good car now. We actually bought it for $8,000, not running. It's a full steel body, and we decided to procure the parts for it and get it running. So we actually did that during the week, but now it's got an oil leak in the rear main seal. So we'll repair that and hopefully, I don't know, maybe rat rod it or something like that. Just go stupid on it.
Wow, that is really neat.
Without spending much money. We want to try and do this without spending as little money as we can,
That's hard with them, man. It's hard. But that is really neat to have, man, especially with a solid body like that.
Yeah, it's all steel, no rust. It's amazing, And I've actually, a friend of mine dropped off a couple of cars. When was it? About 2 weeks ago, and these cars are from like World War I, and they're made of timber and steel combination, but they are stuffed. Termites got to them, and I'm going to do a video on those very soon. But there's a lot.
I've seen some vehicles. I say vehicles because I'm not just talking about cars, but you've actually shown, I know on your channel, you've shown some motorcycles and things like that, and some really cool things that don't exist here, that are strictly Australian, and that is so neat to me. I mean, I would love, like I don't know. There's a lot of car guys here, especially out here where I'm, in the area I am. A lot of old school guys. I moved from the inner city out here to the country. There are a lot of old farmers, a lot of old guys that love the classics, and they'll drive them old cars. They'll get an old Chevy, an old Ford, fix them up, and I'll see them out there. They'll have car shows around here once in a while. We'll set up in a parking lot, and they've got old Mustangs and things like that. But even at all those shows, I've seen all the old cars I've seen that are really cool and fascinating to me. Nothing like what I've seen that are strictly Australian vehicle. And I've always thought, how cool would it be to drive around in something that you can't get here, that you never could get here, and that you don't see here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to get a strictly Australian vehicle to fix up and drive around in America.
Well, that Chevy you saw, that is basically unrestored. We've got a restored one. I'll show you what it looks like restored.
See, I'm a big Chevy fan too. I only drive Chevy, and it's because of my family have always been employed by General Motors, Chevy. My dad worked there late in life, but my uncles worked there. My grandpa worked in GM. GM is a family thing. It's just Chevys. It's really cool to me to see you have a Chevy in Australia.
Yeah, it's funny in a sense when you think about it, considering now we don't have a auto manufacturing industry anymore.
You don't?
We really don't. It's all imports now.
See, that's crazy to me because Chevy and Ford have taken some big hits here in America, but I can tell you we've got manufacturing plants here in the heartland where I live. I'm talking little towns that I can drive to within an hour that are Honda plants, Subaru plants. We build cars from other countries here just as much as we build American cars here.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, that's the restored one.
Wow, that is
that's
big.
The one. Yeah, and that's the one we're playing with at the moment.
And what is that?
That's the one that you saw, the 1933 Chevy. Yeah.
Wow. Does the top go down?
Yep, it's fully convertible.
Oh wow.
That radiator there is worth $3,500, believe it or not. That's amazing.
Wow. See, my wife has been, we've talked about me getting a motorcycle, and I've got some buddies that ride motorcycles and have talked about it, and I'm just scared of killing myself, honestly. I know myself pretty well, and I know I do dumb things. And I know that if I'm in my big truck and I hit a little guardrail, I might get a little dent. But when you're on a motorcycle, it's life or death. A tiny fender bender is life or death. And I don't want to I have kids. I don't want to put myself in that situation. And so I've thought about, and you've definitely kind of renewed that. What if instead of getting a motorcycle, I get a classic, project to fix up and to ride around? I mean, something like that, rebuilt and looking nice. My wife would have just as much fun riding around town as she would a motorcycle.
Well, the motorcycle thing, I don't know if I've ever told you, but I've got a motorcycle. It's in one of my videos there, and I actually hit a kangaroo. And
I watched that video, and I think I even commented, and you kind of clarified some things for me, and I'm thinking, how are you alive? Because it destroyed your bike, right?
Yeah, it destroyed the bike. And the thing is, like, nothing in life is as good as what people make it out to be. At the end of the day, if you get a motorcycle, you'll be put in a position where through maybe lack of funds, your truck might break down, you might not be able to fix it, and you'll say to yourself, I'll just ride the bike during the summer, it's nice and warm. as enjoyable as a motorcycle might be, it becomes a fad that wears off. So, you know, this vision all the time in my head, sitting on a Harley, cruising down the road in summer, but they don't tell you about you have to wear a mask because you're going to eat a lot of grasshoppers and bugs and shit are flying around everywhere. They don't tell you that it's really hot outside. There's no air conditioning and crap like that.
I never even thought about that. Yeah, I've never even thought about that. The bugs I've thought about because I see them, my headlights and my windshield on my truck, especially out here where I live. In the city, it's not a big deal, but out here where I live, I get pelted with bugs. Giant ones. Sometimes I'll see it hit and I'll go, whoa, that was a huge freaking bug.
Yeah.
And I've thought about it. Like, those guys are eating that.
They taste like shit too, because I mean, they really do. I've eaten some really big bugs, and you know, there's nothing you can do. You just go, you just keep going. You know what I mean? But
oh man,
I've ran into a swarm of yellow jacket wasps. They hurt. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, the thing is, the only thing that disappoints me is when you have a partner. It's hard enough getting a motorbike with a partner because your partner will say, "Oh, you're going to kill yourself. The kids won't have a dad," and all that sort of stuff, right? So, had the bike still survived, I'd still have a motorbike today. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now that I don't have a motorbike, it's become a lot harder to get another motorbike because the partner. So.
Yeah, I mean, I get it though, and but my partner is telling me, "Oh, but wouldn't it be fun?" But for me, I don't know. I try to really think things out, and I think it's too much of a risk. And I think the big part of it is I've just happened across 2 accidents that somebody didn't know on a motorcycle. One of them actually happened really close to my house, and I heard it and went out wandering to the busy road to see what happened. And a man and a woman were on a motorcycle, the woman in the back, and they hit the back of a car. It was the motorcycle rider's fault. I mean, the car had probably stopped short or whatever, but the motorcycle hit straight right into the trunk of the back of the car, and both of them probably died. When they took them off in the ambulance, one of them never made a movement to let me know that they were going to live. The other one moaned for a little bit and then passed out again. I don't know that they lived. I mean, neither one of them were wearing helmets. They got thrown really far, and it was scary to see. The second one, I was on a city bus, and we got stopped in traffic. And when we finally went around the traffic, we could see that it was a man dead in the road who had gotten hit by a car on a motorcycle. And it looked like it wouldn't have been a big deal if it was 2 cars, but because it was a motorcycle, it killed him, or likely killed him. And since then, me and my wife have talked about it a little bit, and we were almost considering getting a motorcycle. And then a police officer, the neighborhood I live in is out in the country. It's pretty rural, but there's a lot of police officers live here from all different counties, different jurisdictions. Not all of them work together, but this is like a police neighborhood for some reason. Which makes me feel safe. And there was a police officer, a neighbor of mine, riding around on his personal motorcycle off the clock. He wasn't, we have some police motorcyclists that do it for the job, but this guy was on his own time on his own bike, and less than a block from my house, and he hit a series of potholes that we know about. We've actually bent a rim on our car hitting these potholes. My wife was going too fast and hit them. But he hit him on his motorcycle and he died. There was they had the whole road blocked off because this police officer had hit potholes. There was no other cars involved. There was nothing. He didn't know they were there and hit some potholes, and it took his life. And that was enough for me to say, you know what? I have kids and I have all this, and as fun as it sounds, it's not worth the risk for me.
Yeah. The one thing I can say about motorcycles, and you'd probably relate to this yourself. You are required to have a motorcycle license?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I believe everyone should have a motorcycle license and at least sit the test to become aware that motorcyclists are in a different ball game. So for car drivers to actually consider what a motorcyclist needs.
It's funny you say that. I've never heard anybody else say that until today. Somebody else told me that. Somebody else, a guy I know that rides, that I work with, told me, he said, I think everybody should get a motorcycle license, even if you never ride, but just to be aware of what they have to deal with you on the road in a car.
Yeah, so my driving skills only improved to what they are now because I have a multi-combination license. I can drive road trains legitimately here in Australia.
Wow.
But generally, if I'm going to drive a truck, it'll be up to semi-trailer. So I know what a truck driver needs. I know which way he's going to have to turn to do a turn into somewhere and all that sort of stuff. I have a motorcycle license and I rode 5 years solid on the road. So when I see a motorbike, I already try to judge what he's going to need and do. And then if vice versa, if I'm in a truck, I know what the car needs. If I'm on the bike, I know what the truck and the car needs. So but like your young daughter who just got her license, she won't know what it takes for a motorbike. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She won't understand. She might get impatient as a young person being stuck behind a truck. She'll try and overtake it. She won't have that understanding that a truck is slow because it's heavy until it gets its speed up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be a good thing for people. But you know, they're gonna argue about and say we don't need it. When I'm never going to drive a truck, I'm never going to ride a motorcycle. But it's amazing how many people, once they get to 40 and older, they decide, like yourself, you know, oh, let's get a motorbike and all that sort of stuff. See, the age I am now, there's no way I'd get a road bike again if I got another bike because it's too uncomfortable. I'd get more Harley style cruiser, you know, just comfort. That's what I'd do, just comfort. And I would take my time. I wouldn't worry about speed limits. I would just cruise. There's no hurry. There's no rush. You know, just if it takes all day, that's what it's going to take.
Yep.
You know, because it can turn to shit really easy, like the police officer near your place. You know. So, and what makes it worse for a person like him is he's a local and he should have known about these potholes and he ended up dying.
Right.
You know. So,
right.
And the safety aspect of it, I don't have the fear of it. I put my wife on the back of the motorcycle, the one I had, the ZZR, and we rode into the city, and she was the freaking worst pillion passenger you could ever imagine. She's all her weight on me and holding on really tight, restricting me. She's worried about her legs falling off on the road and all this sort of crap. And, you know, she wouldn't turn into the turns with me. And I just thought, yeah, no, she's scared. It's not her fault. She's scared. That's what it was, you know. But it's just one of them things.
Yeah. I think it would be fun. I've told my wife I definitely wouldn't get like what we call a crotch rocket, like I think what you call a road bike where you could do a wheelie on or something, because I know myself and it looks so fun. I see them guys do wheelies, so I'm like, oh, let me try it. I would love to try that, but I would kill myself. I would end up killing myself. So I would definitely have to get something that I couldn't get the front wheel off the ground. You know, at least not on purpose. You know.
Every crutch rocket that I've owned, in the younger days, is you first get it and you just think, wow, this is a hell of a lot of power. Then I'll give you 3 months and maxing it out is not enough power. So you want a bigger crutch rocket. And, you know, and people survive the first crutch rocket and they think, wow, I'll get something bigger. But the problem is they're not taking into account the actual speeds, the velocities and everything they're doing because they're moving, you know.
Yeah.
And like unbewildered to me, I remember many years ago when I was going for my learner's permit on the motorbikes, they actually told me that it takes a hell of a lot more to stop a motorbike. I thought a motorbike would stop quicker than a car, but it doesn't, for the simple fact that a car or a truck has a bigger footprint of tires on the road. the motorbike has only, you know, maybe 2 6-inch pads, and that's it. That's all that's going to stop you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, whatever you hit.
Yeah, it's a lot less crap in the road.
Yep, and it's very. I've been in situations where, yeah, sometimes I couldn't stop because I was going too fast and I misjudged it. And I mean, that was back in the day, in the younger days, and you sort of got off the bike, had a smoke, and went, "Whoa, that was close." But yeah, and then, you know, here they've only just passed a law on motorbikes where you can weave in and out of traffic as long as the traffic's doing under 40 kilometres an hour. But prior to that, you couldn't. They could actually pin you and give you a fine. So now it's a lot of people are getting little scooters here to avoid traffic congestion.
Wow. Now my kid coming. I actually told my wife that I would only go to 7, so I'm going to go ahead and end this because I'm already past 7. It's almost 7:15 here,
Yeah,
so
cool.
I'm already past. But it was great talking to you. We'll talk some more. I love talking to you, Vinny.
Sure.
Man, you're a very knowledgeable dude, and you're into a lot of the same stuff I am. So very cool chat with you, man. I really appreciate you joining in with us.
No worries, Matt. I'm going to go and have some breakfast.
All right. You enjoy your Saturday, man.
No
and
worries.
everybody else,
See you,
thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.